This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the ROBOSKULL Mark II for the Red Shadows. This is from the Skeletron crew, part of the Kickstarter I supported a while ago. I just wanted to show you this because this is actually the shipping box right here. This is how I got it shipped to me with a label on the corner. While I don't generally complain about shipping boxes unless they're damaged, this kind of stood out on the doorway, you know what I mean? So I think it would have been nicer if it had just been a plain box. But I mean, I gotta give them credit. It's a cool looking box. But what's funny is then we got the shipping box inside here, or the overpack box, or whatever you want to call it. With the little corner protectors. The interior box is plain. But wait, that's not all. Here we have the actual toy box right there. So let's go ahead and we will rearrange our position, and I'm just going to pull the plastic off screen. Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is actually based on one of the vehicles that was created for the Action Force back in the 80s, which you may or may not be aware of is basically what was the preliminary to G.I. Joe in like the UK and Europe. Or I should say it eventually turned into G.I. Joe because they used a lot of the same figure molds and vehicle modes. This one, however, was not stateside, and it's pretty cool. I once described it as a TIE fighter with a skull for the middle, and somebody was like, that sounds really stupid. And I showed them a picture, I'm like, that looks cool. So on this side of the box, we see the pilot, Bloodwolf, I believe is what he's called, and the Skeledrones, or the assassin Skeledrones, which actually I have a 3-pack of those that I never opened. On the back, we see everything that comes in this box. And what's interesting to note here, and kind of sad too, so it's designed for the 4-inch figures, but it'll also work with a 3 3/4 inch, and it's a pilot seat for 2 people, so you have a pilot and a co-pilot. However, you can pull that out and replace it with this for a 6-inch pilot. So it will work with the classified figures, which I will say is kind of the reason why I went for this one. Although God only knows where I'm going to display it. On this side, we just have like some more detailed artwork. Or, well, I guess it's almost more like a red print. Ooh, and I've got that upside down. Prisoner transport unit. That probably only works with the 4-inch figures and 3 3/4. Hidden weapons, the seats for the 2, seats for the single, some rear blast cannons, 3 flight modes, well that'll be interesting, and eye socket weaponry. So that sounds like it swaps out then, right? Maybe. And then for our final side, whoops, and it's upside down again. We just have another one of those red line artworks there. But hey, let's go ahead and open this sucker up. Kind of curious to see how it's packed, actually. And if the figures are on cards or just packed separately. Hey, look, it even tells you to open here. Okay, check that out. They went for 100% clear plastic inside. So you know how the G.I. Joe HasLabs have been doing like just heavy cardboard? Nope, not for these guys. I'm not sure what's in this thing. Instructions. I kind of hope there aren't any stickers because I don't want to deal with stickers. Oh look, stickers. Damn it. Ugh. Oh, actually, I guess it technically just kind of looks like it's just telling you the details here, and this is the actual instruction sheet. which we will probably need for putting it together. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't want to put the stickers on. I'm lazy like that. Oh, looks like the seats though are designed to hold weaponry too. Also kind of looks like, if that's on the outside, is that some kind of additional thing for making the speeder seat conversion? Okay, so there's a separate vehicle mode. I don't know where to start on this. Lots and lots of tape. Okay, let's start middle. Alright, we have our 3 Skeletrons, and they are not on their own box, so that's cool. However, our pilot Bloodwolf is on his own card. I'm not going to take the little missiles out right now. I am not gonna lie, that actually made me miss the cardboard that the HasLab's been using. Alright, let's take a look at some of the stuff here. We got some wings. This looks like once we attach it, it won't come off again. So that's gonna be a pain in the ass to move around later. Looks like the wings have a fold out, fold up, or I guess that would be a fold out also technically. They also can fold in. These would be the spots where the blast effects that we saw go, I would think. Ow, Jesus. Or, well, it doesn't look like it's a missile launcher. Are they designed for specific ports? Well, went in that one. I left the other 3 in the other thing. These are a couple of machine guns here. They would go in the eye sockets, or we have the eye socket missiles. So depending upon how you want it to look. We have its energy electric blast to shock people. Here is that trap for, hold on. Here is that trap for holding people. Looks like, actually, looks like you can do that for like grab here. How do you open it though? There we go. There are pegs in there too. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. Like, I could see one peg for, you know, the character's peg in the back, but I'm not sure about anything else. This would be that little seat thing, which then you would put the chair on there for like a little like transport vehicle. But I believe that also attaches to the skull as well. Oh yeah, and these are supposed to be multifunction too, it looks like. So then if you launch the missile out the eye, this socket would plug into the eye. Oh, we'll deal with that in a little bit though too. So let's set that aside. This is almost the size of a human head. And we should get a good look at all the sides here before we hook up the other thing. There's the back. I wonder if this is supposed to be storage for this thing then. Yep, looks like the prisoner transport goes there. Or of course, I guess this could be a weapons or item holder for when you have like the larger figures in there. We got those couple back guns right back here. Bottom's kind of boring, although this is where that other thing's going to attach to, I presume. Top opens up. Inside there is the dual cockpit. Pop that out. So we got our pilot spot. And we got our co-pilot spot in the back. I like the handles here. They swivel around. They got little icons on them as well. This is a pretty good design, I think. And then, you know, they got the kind of weapon storage on the side on both of these. And on opposite sides, so, you know, because they're facing both ways. So I gotta say, I do appreciate this design right here quite a bit. I think it's a very nice one. It's a little too bad that this doesn't come all the way off, because it's really hard to show you the inside. But there, we have a screen back here, so that would be for the co-pilot, as well as a bunch of screens on the side here, and I'll try to get some pictures to pop up here. Looks like things are more or less duplicated on both sides. So that's fair. And I bet you those stickers were a pain to put on, although they probably put those stickers on before they assembled it. Also, the skull here is supposed to open. Presumably this is where those little missiles go that were in the one part. And then, of course, the electric blast effect goes there. On the other hand, I kind of like the idea that this could just be used to chomp somebody. You go up, scoop to your enemy, and go and eat them. But it does kind of appear that you do, like, this little bit here, which is where the other thing, the guns would hook onto. You have to have that out of the way before it'll open. Speaking of which, we got the gunner report in place now. Presumably it comes off now. Somehow. Oh. There we go. So of course, much like with our 6-inch seater, we can put the 4-inch seaters in there too. When I say 4-inch, but they also work with the obviously 3 3/4 figures too. But that's not really why we're here, right? Like, now the question is, well, it looks like we know what side is going to go where because we've got a specifically set up port here, right? I guess technically it doesn't really matter because they have the same information on both sides. Although, that one is not. So maybe that one goes over here. And this one must go over here. I want to make sure I got that right in case these don't come off again. Oh, shit. There we go. Oh. Now, as mentioned before, we've got eye missiles that we can put in place. Gee, you think I've never done this before? Good lord. I'm not confident I can get that eye out again. Alright, well, let's see. Okay, the wings don't turn there. They do turn over here, though. Okay, so that's the eye missiles. We, of course, have the machine guns. And sort of go along with what I had mentioned before. Well, let's get a look at the machine gun coming out of the eye. Okay, if anybody has seen, what is it, Friday the 13th in 3D, there's a scene in there, spoiler alert, where Jason squishes a guy's head and his eyeball comes flying straight out. This is exactly what this reminds me of right now, is that eyeball flying straight out from that movie. So technically this is our ROBOSKULL all put together. I mean, yeah, no pilots in there right now, but... Oh, shit. Okay, so... One of the guns on the back just broke. That's not good. Actually, that is not a particularly sturdy design back there either, to be honest. It looks like this does come off, though. I wonder if I can get a replacement for that part. That goes back up there to do that. Alright, so just off the bat with that, I kind of think this would have been better design if it had been more of a one solid piece instead of two separate guns that I'd hook in there with that clip. And it is a sturdy plastic, and it broke. Yeah, it kind of fell over earlier, but I don't think it hit that part. But hey, correct me if I'm wrong. And as mentioned before, we got this kind of flying mode, which don't know exactly what the purpose of that would be. The wings can also scooch in. So for the moment, let's set this aside, because along with this, I've got a flight stand. So this is the Elite flight stand. Also comes with blast effects. So there's two different display modes here based on which stand you use. Altitude and ascent. Oh, hey look. Looks like we got a spot to store all of our blast effects and crap. That's a bonus. Gotta give them credit for that. Even though this is obviously designed so that you can take it out, or the sand parts out again, I still don't want to push them all the way in. Okay, it looks like the curved part, I guess, for lack of a better word, goes in the back part. So this has our ROBOSKULL. Ooh, we're gonna have to lift this, I think. This has our ROBOSKULL up in the air. I think this is most likely going to be the way I display it anyway, just because there is some room to put shit down here at the bottom. But for the heck of it, since it didn't come with our one pilot, let's just go ahead and take a G.I. Joe figure. And I kind of think one of the things that's kind of nice about this design, and we'll see if this works well or not, is the idea that we can get the pilot in the seat before we actually put the seat in there. Now that's how she's kind of like fitting on there right now. That would be her view. Oops. So 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Oh dear. So we got Zorana as our pilot. And we can close it. Fits just fine. See her in there. Shove it back on our stand. For right now, I'm going to take the HISS tank driver. Put him in the co-pilot seat there. And we'll swap them out. Because since they boxed the other figure, I might as well do a separate review for that. You know, I don't know why I just pulled her out like that. I should pull the whole thing out. Oh, shoot. Oh, for crying out. Well, at least those are designed so they can pop out. And there we go with our Cobra co-pilot. And again, we can close it up. So this is actually pretty cool, I think. Although that is a pain in the butt to try to get off. Let's not forget we got our prison cell. Which we can fit back there. And with this stand, of course, that again gives us back those options to have the wings however we want. I think I kind of like this position. I think I kind of like this position though. But let's go ahead and... There are lots of sharp pieces on here, by the way. So this is the ascent stand. Not to be confused with the descent, I guess. It's honestly not that much of an angle. Not much different from the previous angle. It's just kind of shorter overall. I'm sorry, but when people say missiles look like penises, I think this is exactly what they're talking about. Well, that's the 4 yellow missiles in there. So we have a couple different blast effects designs. We got 4 of these blue ones, which would seemingly plug into, yep, right there. So it looks like it's shooting. But to go along with that, we also have that style as well. So I don't know if you would consider this to be a laser or what, but you know, there's that option. I presume that they will also be compatible with, yep, the eyeball gun. You could probably put 3 of these in here. Okay, so this is a little interesting. We have these little black nubbies here. So the problems I was having trying to get the missiles in, apparently you put the little nubby in there first. And then put it in the eye. I am not really sure what the because it doesn't stay in there very well. But it kind of showed that with on the instructions. So I don't know why you would use that other than, well, it doesn't work with this thing. Or okay, so looking at the directions here, the nubby thing by itself or with that in there, I don't know what the purpose of the nubby thing is. Because I guess technically you don't have to put the missiles and stuff on there. So why do we have it anyway? And then okay, this is the reason why it's not just prisoner transport. So remember these little Skeletron things I talked about earlier, which are actually kind of cool. So I am pretty sure you could pop this head off, maybe, and swap it out with like a G.I. Joe head, or one of their commander heads. So you got them like this, so they can kind of like crawl around, or I think it was put them like this for like flight mode. They could like spin fly or whatever. But as I was about to try to say, the reason why we have those 3 little dots there is supposed to be for storage of these things, but the peg is too thick. Oh, okay. Well, hold on. All right, whoops. So we put them back in their neutral position like that. Then there's a thing on the back of the head. So there, you can store all 3 of those in there like that. Perhaps I should start watching more product videos when before I do this, but that kind of takes the fun out of figuring this stuff out anyway, too. Oh, for the love of... There we go. So there, yeah. So I guess technically then, storage for your Skeletrons or your prisoners. I would assume then you would launch this out and it would go flying down and boom, land, pop open, and boom, these guys would go flying out there and start killing people. Alright, well, I think this will conclude our look at the ROBOSKULL. Aside from that one piece breaking on me, which I think I've lost it now. Well, that's not good. Well, I can't even glue it back on if I lost it. Anyway. Yeah, seriously, I don't really quite get what that's supposed to be for. I hope you enjoyed this look at it. I'm going to do the figure that came with it separately. But we also, in the box with the, I got these too, so we'll take a look at these cards. I'll do that probably as a separate video also. But definitely, I want to definitely hear what you guys think of this, and what do you think about that, making it compatible with both the, or not even both, but all 3 of the figure sizes. The 3 3/4, which I wish I had one with me, the 4-inch figures, and of course the 6-inch figures. personally, I thought that was absolutely brilliant because I don't think I would have ordered this if it was only for the shorter figures, because I don't have a big display for my vintage ones, to be honest. I'd like to, but again, you only have so much room to display stuff. You have to rotate your stock, right? And the only other issue I have is I do kind of wish it had come with the 6-inch Pilot also. That's kind of a shame we didn't get that. We haven't got any of the 6-inch figures yet. I've done a couple reviews for the previous figures that did come out, though, for this series, which, of course, I'll have at least a link to one of those in the description below. Or, actually, I'll link probably all of them in the description, but I'll have a direct link at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, please feel free to subscribe. You could even hit that notification bell if you want. And once more, thanks for watching. Peace and love.